I can actually feel the road probably looks reasonably dry on the camera, but it's just got that kind of edge. Whoa, fuck! It's just got that edginess of Jesus.
This was just a quick hack at lunchtime. I popped out on the Niken. I mean, the roads were damp. It's about 6 degrees. It's not the kind of conditions I'd normally go out just for a laugh. You know, I ride every day. I'm using the bike all the time, but when I go out just to enjoy myself, I tend to go out when it's dry because I can have more of a laugh when I'm riding then. But this video isn't to prove a point. It's not to show what will happen if I push the bike too far. The Niken isn't uncrashable. Those two front wheels give you an 80% greater contact patch than, say, an MT-09. It's 80% because each wheel is smaller than a traditional motorcycle wheel, so each got a smaller contact patch individually, but put together 80%. It gives more stability. As I've found on a roundabout before, in fact twice before, if the front does slide, it doesn't seem to want to tuck underneath. So unlike a normal bike where you kind of feel it tip under and potentially washes out, it does definitely feel more stable. I do want to say off the bat though that I have lost the front 3 times. Now, I'm probably riding more confidently and harder in the wet with this bike, and you know, as it does go, you tend to think, oh, you know, it feels safe, it feels more controllable, but you do have to consider, you know, there is a significant amount more weight on the front high up. So time will tell. You know, it's impossible to compare by taking a bike out to the same corner and trying to ride at the same speed to try and find out what will happen, but that's something I want to look into more. But certainly, definitely a lot more confidence if things do slide on here. So let's answer all those questions and ill-informed statements that I guarantee will pop up in the comments below. Yes, it's a motorcycle. DVLA classes it as such, and it rides just like any other motorcycle. It is not a trike. The wheel's too close together to be classed as a trike for a start. No, it's not a good idea for disabled riders. It offers nothing that would make it easier to ride for anyone who's lost the use of a limb. Yes, it still needs a side stand and will fall over if you let go of it. This honestly feels just like any other motorcycle to ride, regardless of how many wheels it has. And don't say it doesn't feel like another motorcycle. All motorcycles feel different to ride, but it feels like a motorcycle to ride. No, it's not just for unconfident riders. It's something different, and we need to accept it. The extra front wheel does add confidence, but that means that any rider of any experience can enjoy their bike even more through the year, which is what I'm doing on this ride today. Yes, you can filter on it. That was the focus of the previous Niken Diary, and the more I ride it, the easier it's getting to dive through traffic. But those mirrors, being the same height as most car mirrors, do get in the way. I've had to fold them in on occasion, and I do wish that the mirrors were bar mounted. In fact, I'm going to try that in the future. There's a blank plug on the left hand side that I could put a mirror in. On the right hand side there is no plug, but it looks like the clamp bracket, and just swap that out for maybe for my own MT-10 one. So I'll give it a go and take the mirrors off the front. Just blank them off to see if that makes any difference. So I ride all year round, but I'm already having more of a laugh commuting on this, just thanks to that extra stability. Now, I'm far from the fastest journalist on press launches, but I'd still say I'm a reasonably confident rider. I've owned more than 15 motorcycles, and that's not counting lone press bikes like this one. I genuinely love riding, and the Niken is not damping my enjoyment in any way. In fact, you know, because I'm out having a hack around, on a day that I'd normally think, no, I won't bother getting the bike out, it's making it more enjoyable. There was a time that I felt I hadn't had a good ride if I'd not got my knee down, but I've kind of grown up a bit since then. But having said that, when we took this thing to Bruntingthorpe Proving Ground, I got my knee down at the first corner, and I usually need a few passes to settle in with something. The Niken is of course based on the MT-09. It's got the same glorious punchy 3-cylinder engine, though fair enough, the two-wheeler weighs 193 kilograms, whereas this thing is 263 kilograms. But it is meant to be a sports tourer, so bear in mind the FJR 1300, for example, weighs 289 kilograms, while the Super Tenere is 265, so the Niken is comparable in weight to other bikes. And the maximum payload is 195 kilos, which should be enough for a rider and passenger plus luggage. That's only about 8 kilograms less than the FJR 1300, so it has got, you know, real touring capability. And it certainly doesn't feel heavy when you're riding it. Moving it around the garage is fine. It's easier than the tall KTM 1050 Adventure I used to own. The only thing I have to watch is that the front wheels can catch on my ground anchors. They're not where I expect it to be, but obviously you get used to that. When we took this to Bruntingthorpe, a couple of people said they thought it was a bit slow, so The Niken is restricted to a top speed of 136 mile an hour, but that doesn't mean it runs out of puff. It'll pull hard all the way, so it's not like it's struggling to get to that top speed. And on a 2 mile straight at Bruntingthorpe, it can feel so. You can get bored on a higher booster on the 2 mile straight at Bruntingthorpe. But on the road, if 136 mile an hour is too slow for you, then you probably won't have your licence long enough to worry about it. So despite the extra mechanics on the front, it doesn't feel unwieldy. In fact, when I was trying to work out how to mount the camera behind the wheels for a lot of these shots in this video, I leant the bike right over in my garage to the point that the outside wheel was starting to lift. But still, it was easy to pick up. So, it's you can feel the weight when you sit on it. If you got one in your local dealer, have a sit on it. It will feel heavier, and it feels top heavy, heavier than another motorcycle. But really, it doesn't make it difficult to use. So I'm not trying to sell you this bike. I don't care if you like it or not. It seems to come as a shock to some people that we don't all get excited about the same bikes. And no, I don't think this is going to be Yamaha's biggest seller in 2019, but I think it's a real shame that there will be some people put off from trying it by the small-minded individuals out there who just want to knock it because it looks different. So if you don't like the look of it, that's fine. To be honest, I didn't like the look of the MT10 when I first rode it a couple of years back, but now I've bought one and I absolutely love it. When I first saw this, I thought, well, that ain't right. But the more I look at it, the more I appreciate it. And I'm still not that keen on the swooping bulbous front. But having said that, somebody I was talking to yesterday was saying, oh, I really like this sweeping front. I like headlights, and like anything radical, it is going to take some time to get accepted.
As you can see, it's kind of a challenge-ready bike. You also get a fair bit of crap on this road. Now, I'm riding this bike, and look, there's mud on here. I'm not going to go mental. Yes, this gives you more confidence, but I'm not going to be an idiot. I still don't want to drift Yamaha's bike into a ditch. To be honest, there's I can actually feel the road probably looks reasonably dry on the camera, but it's just got that kind of edge. Whoa. It's just got that edginess of Jesus. There's some shit on this road. Now, I swear I didn't come here expecting that. I expected to do this video and almost be apologetic. Well, I'm not pushing too hard. But seriously, I'm sure you could see absolutely nothing in that footage, but the bike was shimmying around, and I am so pleased. I'm not sure what he's doing, making hard work of it. I am so relieved I have the extra stability of these two front wheels. Does that make me some kind of improper biker? I don't think so. I'm just glad I wasn't on my own MT10 when I hit whatever was on that bit of road. I once had the mother of all tank slappers just here on an old monster that I used to own, and it slapped right the way across the road just there. So lucky there was nothing coming. That was a very slap-happy bike.
So, of course, I'm not saying I couldn't have done this ride on any bike, but when it did get out of shape, I was so pleased to be on this. It proved to me that the system does work. On greasy, horrible roads, it can add stability without ruining the ride. So is this the answer to the question nobody has ever asked? Well, if nobody has ever asked why did the front just tuck on me or why did I crash, then yeah, maybe it is. But I'm pretty sure somebody has asked that question.